Masters, yesterday we learned about yin and yang energy supporting each other. And author Sharon wants to understand more about yang energy and yin imbalance. So she journeyed to grandmothers again for the clarity. They say the overemphasis on yang has made men too dependent upon the women in their lives. This is where they get the sustenance. Women are the only ones they can turn in for support. So, the reliance of women for love makes men resentful of women. To understand this, with this dominating, ever demanding world, man seeks comfort from women. But the point is, she is also having that yang energy. She carries that yang. So, that yang energy expects others to understand and seek comfort. So, there is the misunderstanding of one another and misunderstanding of self. So, remember, like few women who were empowered of grandmothers, they asked, what about men? Now, grandmothers are reminding that. Grandmothers are saying, now that when women ask, what about men? Actually, they are afraid that feminine power will not be sufficient to balance and correct the excess yang energy. So indirectly, when they are asking, what about men? That means they feel that yin energy is not enough to correct or to change. So some feel yin and yang is opposite, always fighting for the power. But grandmothers depicts that energy of yin and yang in a different way, the way which supports for life balance. So when grandmothers wants Sharon to understand that, they showed a tree, a huge tree with the roots widespread across the earth, deeply rooted and going all across the earth. And that huge tree is so huge with a enormous trunk, and the tree branches going to the sky as if it is covering the entire sky. So the grandmothers was making her Sharon realize it's a huge tree of life, that balance. And when she thinks of the tree, when we say, do you imagine, can you please imagine a tree? Then the first thing we do is the trunk and the leaves, and we just forget to imagine the roots. Whenever we say about tree, we just completely forget about the roots, the supply system, which is building the tree. The whole tree, if we can say a tree, and we can imagine roots, bark, branches, leaves, then that is the balance. So the Sharon realizes the balance of yin and yang is demonstrated by this tree. Grandmothers say, as women become stronger, the tree is stronger. The roots of the tree are able to draw more. So the tree itself is greater. The whole tree is healthy. Strong women, not aggressive women. So the whole tree is healthy. Strong women form this strong society, the strong world. Then Sharon had a wonderful experience of becoming one with the tree and felt that oneness. Grandmothers gave a meditation for this tree of life which men and women can both do for the inner balance. The roots being the supply system, the hidden system, but still it's so profoundly supporting the tree, the whole tree. And the branches, if we cut off the branches, the tree will not survive. If we cut off the roots, then also the tree will not survive. Both balance and support each other. And this is the yin and yang relation which grandmothers wants to display, understand. After this journey, Sharon couldn't journey to grandmother's for 2 weeks. She was caught up with the work, and suddenly she was depressed, and a kind of anxiety flew in. When she decided to go back to grandmother's, they saw her state and calmly circled her and started the process. They pulled something. Like when grandmothers notice Sharon is not strong enough, they don't preach, they don't give the message. First thing they do is heal her. So they saw Sharon weak, and they started the process. And in that process, it was like they were circling Sharon, and a bright light was pouring into her. They they were taking some gray substance, a gray thing out of her, from her body and from her spine. These gray or dark substances, like creatures, were coming out of her. She was initially scared, and then she realized it is depiction of something, some blocks. And when they were clearing, she felt the relief. She was initially feeling the pain in her spine, but when grandmothers took off those gray things, she felt relief. And then she realized these blocks were not just from her current life, it were from her past life too. And all those blocks were getting cleared. Grandmother said, "You must be strengthened. Your aura, your bones, your vertebrae, digestion, and breathing. Everything needs to be strengthened. And let the power of garden heal and fill you. You are our vessel. We will help you." We felt and saw her, and the place, house, garden, and the surrounding of Sharon's house, all those were in alignment with the grandmother's vortex, the place where she was traveling. All the entire house and the garden was completely aligned to grandmother's vortex, and it was passing energy. So grandmother said, whenever you need that power, it's like it became like a power center. Her entire surrounding of the house became the power center. And whenever you want energy, just come and walk in the garden, sit near the fern trees. And the grandmothers also said, beware of this alignment. Each time you come home, you step into this vortex. This makes a safe place for us to work on you. Grandmothers, even when you don't ask, if you are in that vortex, they would sense your vibration and heal you. The automatic healing would be done, especially when we are in the nature. When Sharon walked on the field or the garden, near the fern trees, she was immensely healed. And so do the empowerment. She was doing the empowerment in our garden near that fern trees. At that time also, they were under the vortex of grandmothers, direct alignment. So it was a very safe place, energetic place. Here, And this message is embedding something else also. They're saying your aura, your bones, digestion, breathing, everything should be strengthened. They grandmothers always emphasize our need to healing meditation, self-healing, aura cleaning. There are so many hidden messages. Why? Because we feel we are not affected by others' vibrations. But when we are into the public, different vibrations work on us. It's always good to clear our aura. And Sharon walked in her garden, and by that evening, she was completely out of her anxiety. And there were other instances with the tree of life. The tree embodies both masculine and feminine principle of life. The tree produces, carries both. It nourishes the tree of life by giving to one another, by living out of cycle of your lives. You are given the fruit that your life of your life, and by honoring your life, you too bloom and bear fruit. There's a cycle. First, lean on to the tree and let it bear your burden. Next, allow the tree to give you fruit by accepting it. You too will become or will be able to give. As you digest the fruit, the tree of life, you eventually become one with the tree. We may feel, what is this tree fruit? If you understand, they are saying about our higher self. Talking about tree of life, undercurrent, the meaning is the higher self, you come as a fruit, a soul. You have your soul journey, understand, experience. And once you experience the ripened fruit, you again have the capability to bloom and become the fruit, and merging one with the fruit, higher self, thus becoming the fruit again can become a tree. And you have the capability of merging with the higher self. It has a deep meaning, and there are something else which is said about the tree of life that we can see later.